Mark here, and welcome to my studio. Now, this past week we had our son come out for dinner, and I wasn't home from work yet. They went out to use the barbecue, and they couldn't figure out how to use the barbecue because the barbecue it's beautiful, stainless steel, but the markings on the dials are gone. They've worn off over years. And of course, I know the settings on it, but I guess anybody coming up to use it doesn't know how it works. So my wife said, oh, it's time to get a new barbecue. So I'm going to save possibly thousands of dollars on buying a new barbecue by using probably about 50 cents worth of material. I am going to recreate those markings that are on there, the low, high, and the off. Now I did a little bit of work on taking it into Photoshop and building what I wanted, and I've now got that file, so I'm going to start on the processing. Now we're going to be using the xTool M1 machine, which is both a laser engraver and a decal cutter. Or a vinyl cutter or a fabric cutter. So it'll cut a lot of different materials. Now we're going to get started by you get these two sheets when they come in. This one here, they're labeled up in the top. This pink one is for the fabric, so it's a little stickier to hold fabric. So if you wanted to do some fabric cutting, this is the one to use. We're not going to be using this one today. We're going to be using the one that is called Light Grip. And this comes with protective film on both the front and the back of it. And the reason for that is you peel the back off and you stick it into the base plate. So this is now immobilized. And then you peel off the front and then you place your decaling sheet on top of that. Now I've used this a couple times, and then I just retained these plastic film pieces, put them back on, stuck them back on just to kind of keep it. Not sure how long they last, but I've used this one a number of times and it still seems to be working well. But you can get these, you can get extra ones if need be. So we're going to install this into the machine, and then we're going to put the blade cutter in, and we'll start the project. Okay, so I've peeled off the backing of it, so it's sticky, so I'm just going to push it up against the end here, and then make sure it is firmly pressed down. Just like that. And then I will grab the protective film on the top and peel that one back. And there we go. We have our nice sticky surface. So this is the film here. So it has a paper back on it, and this is a vinyl sheet. So I'm just going to place that in here. Mark it up with one of the lines here to make sure it's nice, and it probably doesn't matter too much, but make sure it is on there good, nice and sticky, so it holds in place. So this is the blade attachment here. The blade is just poking out to the end here, so you want to be careful of that. And this magnetically attaches underneath. So it is right in this corner here. I want to make sure I don't hit my decal. Maybe do this before you put your decal in. All right, so there we go. Our blade is now attached. Everything is good. And we can then turn on our machine and head over to the computer to get started. Okay, so I've booted up my computer. I have opened up the xTool Creative Suite. And what we're going to do here is, the first thing is process on base plate. This is for the laser engraver. So I want to go to blade cutting. And then from there, I want to click on user define material. So we're going to actually select PVC, the self-adhesive sheets. And that's going to bring everything in for us for that. All of our settings. And then we're going to go select image and barbecue decal. We'll just grab the JPEG here and open that up. The machine is on and connected, and you can see in the top corner xTool. Scale it Yeah, let's scale it. I've made it larger just because I always might like to make things a little bit larger than not. Now what I've done here is I put 6.5 centimeters. This is the size of the box, edge to edge. So I just kind of put that in there as a reminder. We're going to go down and we're going to trace image. And it is going to generate our trace. It should be a pretty clean trace, which it is. Because I designed this in Photoshop, I can just go in and have a peek. There's a little bit of a squiggly going on here. So we are going to change the smooth, I think is... Actually, I think I might want to turn that up. Play around with the settings in here until you get... There we go. That looks much better. I'm zoomed way in, so you're not going to actually get these little bumps. It's going to be pretty clear. So play around with the settings on here, and then just zoom in and make sure everything looks good, which it does. So this is the on-off little button here. It actually doesn't get placed there. And then you've got your little flame and your large flame. You can customize it how you see fit. But that's kind of what I went with. Now I am going to save that. Everything looks good. There it is. We're brought in as a vector. We have our image here now traced out. We can then select this and drag it over, and you'll see the original underneath it. So I am just going to delete that. It makes it a little hard to see what's going on here. So I am going to, actually what I'll do first is because it's 6.5 centimeters wide, I'm going to go down here and click the lock. So I'm going to lock the aspect ratio, and the width I'm going to go 65, and that is going to bring it down. It's going to be way over here. We'll grab a hold of that. And I'm not going to put it on because it's black on black here. I'm going to move it off to the side for starters. Then I will go ahead and, can I just select? No, it's going to select the whole thing. What I need to do is ungroup that and then select it. But it's actually selecting this as well. It's already ungrouped, so I don't know why it's doing that, but we'll just delete them individually here. Nice and easy. There we go. All right, so we're ready to go on that. We've got it 6.5 over. This is our dot for the on-off switch. So we are going to move this up into here. Now, so we can't see it on here, so I'm going to right-click on here, and I'm going to change the whole thing to yellow. There we go. So now our layer is on yellow. We can actually see what we're doing here. Okay, so I am going to have that right in there, and with it selected, all of this should be good to go. We have a cut pressure of 80 and a speed of 60. So now the next step is to frame it. So I'll click framing. Now we want to go and hit the button on the machine that's flashing, and what it's going to do is it's going to frame out to make sure we are on there. The camera is good, but because of its angle and the way it's tucked into the back of the machine, it has a little bit of depth perception issues. So we'll just check it out and make sure we're lined up. Okay, I don't know how much you saw, but it looks good. So I've hit process item, and again, the light is flashing. So we'll hit that, and it'll do its thing. Okay, so everything looks good on it. Of course, I have 3 dials and I only did 1. So I'm just going to duplicate that. I'm going to line up my pattern. Wanted to do 1 just to make sure it was working well. It's always good to check to make sure. These sheets are pretty standardized, but if you buy stuff online, you can get a little bit of variance. So it's always good to test before you go and do a full-fledged project. Now you'll notice that when it did the first decal, the head went over to the side here occasionally, and then what it's doing is it's testing the pressure. So after every cut, it goes back and just makes sure and kind of recalibrates itself so that everything is even. So now we will remove this sticker pad from the base, just like that. A little hard to see on there, but we'll get this all prepped and put it onto the adhesive vinyl backing the transfer tape. Okay, so I've cut out the 3 decals here. We'll just set that aside for another project. Now we want to remove all the unwanted material from here. And the way I do that is I've actually got, I don't know where I picked it up, but an old dental set. And this works really good for weeding out all of the unwanted stuff. Once I do that, I have a roll here of adhesive transfer tape. So I just picked this roll up, I think it was on Amazon. What you'll do is what that is used for is to make sure everything's in line. Of course, if they're just standalone decals, you don't really have to worry too much about that. But anything, of course, if there's lettering or anything, you want to make sure everything's lined up and gets transferred right over. This goes onto it to hold everything in place, and then you peel your backing off and you put your decal on and peel this off, and you're good to go. So I'll get started on just getting rid of all the unwanted stuff on here by just pulling it out with my special tool here, and then we'll move on to installing the transfer and getting it onto the barbecue. Okay, there it is. We've got our 3 decals. Now, I'll put the transfer tape onto it first, and then I'll cut out, of course, all the 3 decals, plus the power on-off little button. I'll just cut that out and I'll apply it separately. So I've already pre-cut a piece of transfer tape here, and you just want to take the backing off of it. You also want to have some kind of card. I guess today we'll go with a Costco card. Works well. So peel it off, and then when you put it on, you want to put it on from the top and kind of work your way down so that you are evenly on there. So there it is with our transfer tape. Our decals are now almost complete, and we'll just go ahead and cut them out and apply them to the barbecue. Of course, you want to make sure you clean your surface first, soap and water, and then maybe use some isopropyl alcohol to remove any kind of oils or anything. Make sure it's nice and clean, and then apply your decal. I think it turned out better than I expected. So now people will be able to learn my little secret with the dial position. It should be a no-brainer now. So if you're interested in xTool in the M1 or any of their other laser engravers, I'll leave an affiliate link down in the description. By going through that link, you help us out here on the farm as well. And don't forget to check, because they've got deals on quite often. So this weekend is the Victoria Day deal for Canada. Next weekend is probably going to be a Memorial Day sale, so check out the website, find out if there's something that might interest you. Maybe you have a few things to spruce up, or you want to make a couple bucks making some custom items. I know that's pretty popular nowadays. So anyway, if you have any questions about this piece of equipment or any of the other xTool equipment, please leave it down below in the description or in the comments, because I'll put stuff in the description. But in the description will be the information on the link. And while you're there, click on that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And let me know if you like this content. We'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.